the meeting to order at this time. Thank you. I don't get very often. It is actually 7:01 p.m., so a little bit tardy here on my part. I'm going to call the meeting to order tonight, the Georgetown Township Board of Trustees, and welcome everyone who's here from the public this evening, as well as all board members. We've got a full complement, and we like to begin each meeting with a prayer for guidance. So, John, would you be willing to offer a prayer tonight?
Sure. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
We'll all bow our heads together, please. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to be together and look at your business for Georgetown Township. We pray for strength and wisdom, and help us, Lord, to be wise as we look at what's happening and affecting our citizens. We want to thank you for the good people that work here at Georgetown Township and do an incredible job. We also reflect on what's happened in Traverse City, where there was stabbing, and how the first responders that we have here at Georgetown Township have to deal with this type of thing of putting their life on the line on a regular basis with our sheriff department and our fire. And we're just so thankful for these wonderful people that they're willing to do that. We pray, Lord, for our nation and world events as our president is overseas, and please be with him, and may he make wise decisions also. Thank you, Lord, for a beautiful day. May our evening be productive. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Could stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice
for all.
Thank you. And Piper, if you would just recognize the roll.
Everyone is present tonight.
Very good. All right. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Support?
Moved and supported. Comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, agenda is approved. Item 6 is your communication letters and reports received for information. Good stuff to look at, good stuff to read through. Continuing with the investment report, it looks like we're getting good income yet on that, so that's good. Item 7 is our initial public comment period. Some of you have been here before. I can see maybe some new faces as well. Just to remind you, this is an opportunity for any of you who's come tonight to address the board on a particular agenda item. Of course, we've got a couple of you who are speaking to those items, so you can wait until they're called. But others of you, if you wish to address anything that you found on the agenda, this would be the time to do so. And you get a second opportunity at the end where you can either speak to what was covered in the meeting or anything new that is on your mind or heart. So, does anyone wish to address the board at this time? Yes, sir. Step forward, and all we ask is for your name and your address. Yeah. Very good. All right. How are you? Welcome.
My name is Dan Scripps, and I live at 1070 Rushmore.
I'm Nancy Cochran, that's P.S. and Paul, O-C-H-R-O-N. I live at 6402 36th Avenue.
Thank you. Well, welcome.
And we don't usually wear purple together, but we are tonight.
Flattering.
We are two members of about 650 people that's known as GAC within Georgetown.
Sounds like something a cat would do. I'm sorry.
Oh, when it first came up, we found it sounded more like a duck, like gack, gack, gack. But somebody said, well, then people won't forget us. So that's kind of what we stuck with. I guess we are a bunch of ducks. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to read to you kind of what we're trying to do here.
In which agenda item, just so we know where to focus, which agenda item are you focused on? You don't have to give a number. You can just give the subject.
Oh, boy.
And I'll redeem your time. Pause them a second.
Okay, why don't we pause it?
Yeah, pause it,
Yeah,
please.
you said public comments. We thought, okay, that was us.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is a comment you wish to make
Yes.
at the end about something not related to an agenda.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
We'll come back.
Sorry, sorry to be so formal.
No,
Purpose good. Well, all right. With that, is there anyone else who would like to address the board on an agenda item this evening? All right. Seeing none, we'll close the initial public comment period. Item 8, is there a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Moved by Gary, supported by Amy. Any comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And the consent agenda is approved. Item 9. There's a motion here to adopt the staff report, which is actually to deny a request for a certain category related to parking. I don't want to get too verbose here, but you all have read it and know what this concerns. Is there someone who would like to make a motion this evening to adopt that staff report with a resolution to deny this request?
I'll move that we deny the request.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. The floor is open concerning this issue, which has been an issue of discussion for a period of time. I know one thing I appreciated was that the Planning Commission looked at this not dismissively, and of course you speak for them if you like, Gary, but not dismissively, but rather as an impetus to look deeper at getting it right as it relates to the questions being posed related to parking with this specific property, but also with other future properties of this nature. And so I took it as, hey, we're going to use this as some motivation to do a deeper dive. And I think even the person who made the request can appreciate that. But
Yeah, I was not at the specific meeting. I had a church event. But I do know this has been a conversation for like the last several meetings. Parking, the restaurant, Bosco's was talking about putting in at 20th and Ball, and that was a big discussion on parking. There's been several parking issues. But then I always point to Impact Sports, and they've got parking issues there. They put it there, but now everybody's complaining they park on the grass. They park across the street. Now there's a problem with people crossing the road. So, yeah, it's a big discussion to have parking. I understand it takes a lot of room, takes a lot of money, but trying to get it right, I don't know where the answer is, because once zoning is made, then they can sell the building and they sell the parking with it. Now you have a problem down that line too. So I'm not sure we have an answer for that yet, but there's a discussion ongoing.
and it will be ongoing in Planning Commission.
Oh, I believe it will be.
Yeah.
It just keeps coming up because everybody comes, they want to try to get as few parking spots as possible
Yeah.
and not have a problem down the line.
I like how you put that, you want to get it right.
Yeah, we need to get it
Softly.
right. We can see examples where we thought we had it right and we didn't. And we have other examples where we probably erred too far the other way and have all kinds of parking spots. But what do you do?
Any thoughts about that? I know that's something you've looked at as well.
Yeah, I've talked a lot with Ryan about some of the parking issues around the community. And I think it's more, it comes off a little bit as we're just trying to regulate the use or uses that are coming to us or that exist. But where I feel that it becomes our responsibility to do the deeper dive is that there are now some safety concerns. And I feel that that's where the intersection of this board sort of needing to put a pause on at least this particular parking requirement of the indoor recreational facilities. There's a legitimate safety concern. And I feel that once the concern was raised or once it became aware to the Planning Commission and to board members, it now becomes our responsibility to, I think, do that deeper dive. And as Gary pointed out, when you build a structure and you build the associated parking, the site plan that's coming before you is for a particular use. And then you are essentially creating the parking lot for that use. But what happens 10 years and 20 years and 30 years down the road when different uses potentially could occupy that building, and now they don't have sufficient parking? And I don't know how we address that. I don't know how we can make sure to plan in perpetuity, but I do think that that's what the impetus of this is doing a deeper dive for a community that is suburban in nature, where everybody is driving everywhere. We need quality parking lots that I think protect the safety of the folks using those facilities.
John, I see you nodding. Anything to add to that, or you?
No, I agree. This is an incredible problem, needs to be addressed. But you could see how it happened, but now we need to fix it.
You know, I would remind all of us, I think we all know this, but even though Gary is our representative of the Planning Commission, if you felt passionate about a topic, you have the right and the ability both to attend the meeting and speak, much as we invited the public here tonight to speak to the whole Planning Commission, as well as to reach out to any one of them directly by phone or email, right? And so if you've got a particular personal experience with it or thought about it or insight, I'm sure that they would welcome, that input. So other thoughts at this time about it? Okay, hearing none, we've got a motion and a resolution, so I think we need to call roll on this one. And again, this is, if you approve it, you are denying the request and seeking that deeper dive, as I guess we refer to it.
Trustee Schwalm?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Veldink?
Yes.
Treasurer DeWitt?
Yes.
Trustee Grassman?
Yes.
Clerk is a yes. Supervisor Wieringa?
Yes.
All in favor, the motion is carried.
Thank you. Item 10 is to change from low-density residential to medium-density residential parcel over here on Kenowa Avenue, across from, I think, that Honda dealer at 6621 Kenowa Avenue, and adjacent to some apartments here, if you guys are familiar with that area. And tonight, is there a motion to adopt the staff report and to approve the resolution to have that rezoned?
So move.
Support.
Supported. Again, something that was looked at by our planning commission. And for anybody who knows that area or that particular property, I guess it fits within the master plan. And there's a lot of apartments that would be adjacent to whatever sort of, duplex or whatever they have in mind. Thoughts about that? Anybody, anything in the planning commission that became?
Again, this was the same meeting I missed.
Oh, okay.
I
All right.
missed one meeting. This was the one these two were on. So.
Okay. Well, you hardly ever miss, so.
I don't. It just happened to have none. I couldn't switch out, so.
Yep. Yep. Well, we've all seen the staff report and the site plan and the motion and resolution.
Yep.
If you've got nothing more to say, I get it. You've been well vetted. Anybody? Okay, hearing none, this again is going to be a roll call vote.
Grassman?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Schwalm?
Yes.
Trustee Veldink?
Yes.
Treasurer DeWitt?
Yes.
Clerk is a yes. Supervisor Wieringa?
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
Very good. Item 11 now, we've got Cheryl Clark here as our Ottawa County Treasurer. I think most of us have at least seen her, if not met her. Appreciate her coming tonight. She's going to speak to us about tax foreclosure avoidance payment reduction program resolution. That needs a acronym. That's just something clever. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And-
I know I spoke with some of you before about this program at your Finance Committee meeting, but I just want to thank you for allowing me to come tonight and talk with you about this. So this is a program that I campaigned on, which was helping people avoid foreclosure, avoid losing their homes. And the law recently changed, and it's allowing county treasurers to do this kind of program. So this program helps struggling homeowners stay in their home by offering them a payment plan for up to 5 years, and where the interest and penalties that have accrued are waived, and then the property is withheld from foreclosure. So if a homeowner owes 2 years or more of taxes, then they may qualify for this program. There are some other qualifications that are required, but that's one of the main ones. And the other main one is that their property has to be 100% principal residence exemption. So it can't just be vacant property. It has to be their home that they live in. This is different than what we've been doing in the past, which is we've been granting 1-year hardship extensions. The hardship extension just gives them, like it says, 1 year. And they, they fill out an application and we pretty much give it to them every year. But now this has caused the issue of why I want to introduce this program.
Can that go on, this past practice, like year to year? They can defer, like if I owe taxes from 2022 and I haven't paid them in early 2025, and March 31, I think is the deadline where I'd lose my property foreclosure sale, right?
Right.
Under that scenario? Have we deferred, like in my example, the 2022s could be deferred indefinitely for a
No,
number of
so
years?
you have to, with the 1-year hardship extension, you have to fill out an application every year.
Yeah.
To get that every year.
It could keep bumping out.
It could,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So if you look at the spreadsheets that I had passed out, this, on the first page and then the back, this is a taxpayer who owed taxes all the way back to 2020. They were doing the 1-year hardship extension, so we gave them the extension for the 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. They're going to get. But if you look on the back of that page, it ends with the year 2030. It's really not ending because they will continue to have delinquent taxes every year. That cycle never stops. They get 1 year paid off, they have another year that's added on. This person will never get their taxes caught up. If you look at the second page, this is with the program. So with this program, we waive the interest and the fees, and we sign the 5-year agreement with them. This homeowner will have all of their taxes paid by the end of September of 23, because we are waiving those interest and fees, but also the requirement for being in this program is they have to have their current taxes paid. So they cannot let their current taxes go delinquent. That stops the cycle of delinquency, because now they're paying current and they're paying delinquent at the same time, and they're not going to get stuck in that cycle anymore.
You said they have to be 2 years behind already, right? So they're paying 2 years worth under this,
Right.
but having to keep current with the third and the fourth.
Yes, yep. So under the old program, this taxpayer was paying $250 a month. With the new program, we would only have them pay $100 a month to us, giving them that $150 a month extra to get their current taxes paid. So they're still spending the same amount every month as what they were, but they're getting their current taxes paid and they're paying on their delinquent taxes and getting caught up. This program is no cost to Georgetown Township because the county is bearing all of the cost on it. When we do what is called settlement, and Jean knows what this is, but we, like you said, in March, you turn over all the delinquent taxes to the county. We take all of those delinquent taxes from every township and city in the county, and we pay every taxing entity for those delinquent taxes. So we make everybody whole. And then we take on that debt, the county does. So you've already been paid all of that money that we are going to waive. So this is only costing the county money.
Yeah, but we are the county.
Right, but you've already
I get it,
received
but I
your
don't
money.
like the way you said that.
Oh, I'm
Well,
sorry.
the county's paying it. I live in the county.
Yeah,
I am paying it. Just so we're clear on that, because
Yeah.
I don't like you make it sound like you're a different entity. You're not a different entity. We are the county.
right.
We are one.
Okay,
Fix
so
for the
this is
county.
not, but this
So-
is not like the county's general fund?
I understand that,
Okay.
but that money comes from someplace, and that money comes from us, so it does come from Georgetown. We're forgiving debt for other people that's being paid by either taxes we paid in the past or tax we're paying in the future.
So this money is not money from Georgetown.
So where's it come from?
It's from delinquent taxes. So those taxpayers whose taxes went delinquent and they're making payments every month, this is their money.
Meaning the loss is the fees and the penalties, and the assumption is that they follow through and pay.
Right.
Right. But if they're supposed to be making a $250 a month payment, and they're still making that payment, but 100 of it's going to delinquent taxes, you're short $100 someplace.
They're what?
Still short $100 someplace.
The 150 is going to be so they can pay their current taxes to Georgetown Township.
Correct.
So you'll get your money sooner because you don't have to wait till we send that check to you in April for all the delinquent taxes.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep
Yeah,
clear.
it's kind of confusing. So
Well, it isn't to me because I know that money still comes from us. It's still a county fund. And somewhere along the time, the county's being shorted money. You're not getting full taxes for all them years. Because
So we are. We're going to
you're-
get the full taxes. We're not going to get the interest.
Sounds more like lost opportunity cost. Like,
Yeah.
what could you have done with the money if you had it sooner? That's the cost.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
How many people in the county do you think will qualify for this?
Currently, we have 6 that we know of that will work for.
And are any in Georgetown Township?
Not yet.
I was able to hear, I happened to be at Allendale Township Board
Okay.
when you were there that night, so I heard your presentation there.
Yeah.
And that was a question that was asked, who, in Allendale would qualify, and I think the answer was the same there. So
Yes.
I was also going to ask that for us.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody who would even qualify for this program, so it's really just kind of looking at some potential framework.
Qualification-wise, is it just, I meet the category of not having paid 2 years' worth and therefore I'm eligible, or what are the additional restrictions? Because I can say right now, I know of somebody personally who has gotten a hardship forgiveness of property taxes
Okay.
a couple of different years, and I know they have a lot of investments, but doesn't kick off income, and they have a very low W-2, right? So they look broke, and they're not. Now, I realize that's the aberration. We're looking to help. But would someone like that be able to get into this program? Just
They do have to qualify. They have to meet an income requirement. They have to do the 200% poverty, federal poverty requirement. So I attached that information for you. It's this sheet that looks like this. So if it's a one-person household, 200% they would have to be making $31,300 a year to qualify for this. Two-person household, $42,300. So it's not everybody, and those who are really struggling. And getting back to like the fees and stuff, so a lot of the fees that the county normally charges are fees when they go into forfeiture. So the first year, they're called delinquent. The second year, it's forfeiture, and then we foreclose in the third year. So the year that it's in forfeiture, we start charging 1.5 or 1.25% interest a month, which is more. The first year, we're only charging 1% interest a month. We also start charging all these other fees because we have to notice the property, because we're going to foreclose on it. We have to put an advertisement in the paper. We have to do all of these other things, which we are not going to do if they sign this agreement form. So the county won't be out that money because we're not even going to be spending it. So we won't collect it, we won't spend it, keeping them out of the whole forfeiture and foreclosure process.
More or less, this program is just really to help those who are at low income and struggling to pay their regular bills, let alone taxes.
Right.
Not
And yes, and with the 200% poverty exemption, they also will qualify for some of the programs that the Ottawa County Community Action Agency has to offer. So if they are struggling with their utility bills or something like that, then the Ottawa County Community Action Agency can help them with that. So we figure out how much they make, they fill out the application. If they fall within that 200%, we forward on their name and phone number and email address to the Ottawa County Community Action Agency. And then they will contact them and then ask them if they want to fill out an application. We're also working on trying to get a budget class going through the Ottawa County Community Action Agency, so that these people we can require them to take that budget class to be a part of this program.
Cheryl spoke at the Finance Committee meeting and did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
We had many, many questions for you. And you did a great job answering them. And then the one that the township itself will get paid the monies that they're supposed to get.
Yes.
I agree with Gary as he says, well, what about the interest and so forth? And Jim mentioned, are we losing opportunity costs? Well, we're not, but that's a decision that Ottawa County is looking at.
Yes.
But it seems like you've got a guidance program in there that's pretty strong, trying to help straighten these people out.
Right.
It's a tough moral issue, but I think this shows a lot of promise, and maybe this is the direction we should be going.
Yeah.
You're taking a brave stand on this because I think this is radically different than what we've done in the past.
Yeah.
I think we had 2 people that could have qualified here in Georgetown Township, but they had other incomes, like Jim had mentioned, that or assets that threw them off.
Yeah.
So we don't have anyone here that would qualify with the parameters you have set up right now.
So I don't know about the new taxes that have come over delinquent, so the 2023 for taxes that just came over delinquent in March. We have not gone through all of those yet to see if they also had 2023 taxes owing. Once we have an opportunity to get these 6 people that we know, the 6 homeowners that we know that really qualify for this, then we're going to take a deeper dive and we're going to look to see if there are any other homeowners that might qualify. Then we can stop them. So then, like this person, they owe all the way back to 2021, right? The other people would only have 2 years of delinquent taxes, so it wouldn't take them as long to get those paid, and they would stop the whole cycle a lot sooner.
Cheryl, do you need unanimous from all the townships in order to make this work?
I do not. I need, but so what I need is for you to pass a resolution saying that you will participate in the program. If I do not receive a resolution from Georgetown Township, then I cannot help anybody in Georgetown Township. The law requires that you pass a resolution saying that you're...
So your answer to John is 4-3 works for you. So it's 7-0, right? Okay.
Unanimous for this board?
Yeah.
Or unanimous for the whole county?
I thought for the whole county.
Oh, no, I don't need it for the whole county.
sorry.
I just can't help those in any township or city that does not pass the resolution.
All right.
Got it.
Got it.
Okay, I missed that, yeah.
Yeah, because I thought it had to be unanimous.
No.
And I thought, how are you going to do that?
Yeah. So far, I've got unanimous.
You know, it's a noble undertaking and a lot of work for such a small subset of people, and hopefully it remains a small set
Right.
of people that struggle
Yeah.
to that degree, you know?
Yeah.
Um.
Yep. Do you have any other questions?
Just one comment, it just seems like taxes are going up faster than income, and that's the problem. You know, the program isn't needed if the taxes keep going up the way they are. You're going to need more of a program. That's the sad part. That's the reality of it.
Right.
Or income is not keeping up with taxes. So I have concerns about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I agree with the program. I just think that over time, you're going to have more and more people.
Right.
And now you got a program in place you got to try to fund
Which we do have the money to fund it.
at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Curious,
I just say that too. I have the money at this time.
curious, what is the opt-out provision for a township or a city if, say, 5 years from now, this thing balloons and you're like, oh, this is becoming a thing, you know?
Yeah, so in the resolution, I believe it says that you can... Any change in the terms of the tax foreclosure avoidance payment reduction program? Oh, I will have to come to you if I have any changes. I think you can just pass a resolution that you don't want to be in it anymore.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, thank you.
Cheryl, is there a target of when you'd like to have a resolution?
The sooner the better.
We're about to vote on it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Think.
Yeah.
Yeah? Are we ready?
I make the motion we adopt the tax foreclosure avoidance payment reduction program.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. We've had conversation. It's a roll call vote, so. Ms. Kuiper?
Clerk is a yes. Supervisor Waringa?
Yes.
Treasurer DeWitt?
Yes.
Trustee Schwalm?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Trustee Grassman?
Yes.
Trustee Beldink?
Yes.
All those in favor, motion carries.
Thank you so
Thank you for
much.
coming tonight. Yep, and if you wish to leave, we're not going to think any less.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, item 12, the MPDES Stormwater Permit Compliance Contract. They're looking for us to renew what has been a 3-year cycle that started 3 years ago. Is there a motion to approve the contract with Elgro for this stormwater permit compliance?
So moved.
Support.
You support it, okay. You've read the contract, you've read the email, you get the concept. Technically, we could do this work here, but I don't think we really want to. I don't think.
Tapped out. It's a state requirement. We have to do this. Right, Justin? Yeah.
We're hearing that more
I'll
and
just
more.
make one comment, because I've been on email with Justin. When this came up 3 years ago, I had concerns because of the fact that it made us responsible for stormwater that passed through the township. Jamestown is not a part of this, and Jamestown in the watershed above us. And so I had concerns about it back then. I know that Rod Wersing did a line out on the last one, and I have not really seen the actual MS4 to read through it. Justin's going to circle with them and find out if that's okay or not. And I'm okay with that. I just want to make it known that I had issues in the past because it made us responsible for any stormwater that came through the township. Well, if Jamestown would have a spill and it came through our stormwater system, at the past contract would make us responsible for it. And Jamestown is not a part of this, which is confusing because they're saying that they don't have any stormwater. Well, I know for a fact they got a couple plats over us. I'm sure they got stormwater. So I'm just want to make that known. I'm okay with approving this. Just want to make my concerns known, and Justin's going to circle around with them guys and figure what's going on. Because we did have a long conversation. You guys remember that? I dragged this thing out for about 3 months because I was like, this is not right. And the wording was wrong, and they finally did change the wording. So the guy you're talking to probably remembers me because we went through this a few times.
Good.
So just want to
Good.
point
You
that
feel
out.
like he's prepared to adequately address that?
I think he is, and I sent you out the lined out copy that Rod Wersing had put together back then. So he has that. So I just say I have a issue with having stormwater run through the township because we're at the bottom of the watershed.
So do you want to make sure that that line is in that contract before we sign?
No, I think Justin has a handle on it, and he has a copy of that. I haven't, if it changed from last time, I don't think it has. I don't think they have changed it. I can't believe they would. But I'm going to go along with it.
And of the 21 and change that we would pay, we get reimbursed by Jensen Schools like 6-ish, so roughly net of 15. 15.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for that input, Gary, and reminder of the last go around, and Justin for taking that up. Anybody have any further comments on this one? If not, the motion is before you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it's passed. Item 13, this is to authorize our assistant superintendent. Welcome again, Andy. Your second meeting, you came back. We're glad about that. This is to add him to our Wind Trust bank account as a signer, as assistant superintendent.
Support. I'll make a motion that we put him.
Moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Thank you. Item 14, the 48th Avenue Water Transmission Main Phase 2 bid. Gary, would you like to make this motion?
Yeah, a motion to accept the bid from Dykem Excavators for the amount of $4,945,944 for Phase 2 of 48th Avenue Water Transmission Main.
Support.
You're able to say that without choking.
Yeah.
Good. I always said when I was on utilities, that's where the money gets spent, and it gets spent like, in a big swath,
Joe.
Hmm?
Joe brings all these big numbers.
No, Joe.
He's really good at convincing us too. He's like, whatever you want, Joe.
Well, and sadly to say, this Phase 2, there'll be a Phase 3. We all know this, and we've seen it go from 13 to 18 million to who knows what million. It's why sometimes, when you have something you have to do, you try to do it as quickly as you can because the prices just keep
Going up.
And anyways, Gary, don't get Gary going. If I get going, Gary will get going. But
the bid did come in a little less than what the first estimate was, so
that's good.
we'll be thankful for that, right?
Yep, and we're taking low bid.
And we had more bidders than we did on the last phase. There was a little more work needed out there, so it actually, I thought it was a good bid.
Good.
It really did. So
Good. We had some good people bidding on it too.
We did.
Excellent people.
So, how's the whole project going so far?
Yeah, I think they're ahead of schedule, aren't they, on the Port Sheldon crossover?
They're on schedule right there on Port Sheldon 48. They're putting a little bit of sewer in it at the same time. Trying to work on that right now. Another crew up there, so he's doing a great job.
Good.
Great.
What would be the schedule for this Phase 2?
Here, right?
We have to award the bid and then see what they're hoping to do it. We're planning on 2026.
Then Phase 3, 2027?
That's the goal.
Okay. Okay. We can debate things that cost $22,000 for a whole meeting, and then here goes 4.9. You guys ready to vote?
Yeah, well, you don't want to be Gavin Newsom and wonder if your fire hydrants don't have water, right? So I just told like that. It's like, you want to be Newsom? We can do that. But hey, guess what? We're not going to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. And this has been planned and planned, so.
It has to be done.
Yep.
All right, there's a motion before you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is passed. Item 15, revised election agreement with Ottawa County. Can someone put that motion before us to approve the revised election agreement?
I'll make that motion.
And I will support that.
Who's supported? Who would wish to address that if there's anything more you want to elucidate? Kelly?
It's pretty straightforward. We have standard equipment agreements that are with Ottawa County. It was brought through finance, though, so if there's any discussion at finance, I was not privy to that meeting. So if anybody from finance, if there's any questions or comments brought up, otherwise it's a pretty straightforward contract.
Comments were that, Ottawa County no longer is going to pay early voting, and so we will handle the early voting for Georgetown and probably in this location right here. I mean, it's one location.
Mm-hmm.
It will be an undertaking.
It will.
It will.
It'll be, a part of our budget moving forward, a pretty significant part of our budget moving forward.
They will be in line all the way to Rob's office on the second floor, up the stairs, I think.
Yeah, I mean, to that extent, right, we, will have county equipment in addition to township-owned equipment, but the township will be undertaking all of the early voting on our own without that county manpower, financial support from here on out, so.
I think that's so unfair.
Yeah.
It did feel a little bit like a tease, right, last year, and then sort of, okay, well, it was too much for us to take on, you guys do it, just because we will get through it. We have a great team here, and we have the necessary willpower to kind of work with our budget to make these numbers work. That might not be true for every municipality within Ottawa County. That's where it gets a little tricky, right? Is that we are blessed to be able, right? I had these conversations with Justin, with Andy. We're blessed to be able to figure this out for ourselves, but it's not without a little heartburn, right? But other municipalities are experiencing a little bit more than heartburn. It will truly mean decisions need to be made about their budgets and about services.
I guess some of the other communities kind of formed together a consortium, and they're all working together.
Yeah.
We talked about joining them, and
We
they
did.
said, we're so big, we will overrun them.
Yeah.
So they don't want to do it.
Amber, I won't claim that I was like leading this charge. Amber did a great job with the other clerks from City of Hudsonville, Blendon Township, Allendale Township. They spent a lot of time and energy discussing how to make it work. And the unfortunate part is that we are just simply too big, and it becomes an issue of parking and facility space. Bringing our level of electors to another facility didn't work. We overran them very quickly. There wasn't enough space and parking for the amount of registered voters that we have. So that's where we really will feel that burden. But on the same token, I will say that when we were investigating partnering with adjacent municipalities, it really was going to be sort of a prorated financial effort anyway. So we were really going to be paying our fair share, which was the bulk of the cost. And at that point, it felt like, okay, if we're essentially paying the same fee to partner or the same fee to be on our own, it does feel like we have a little bit more autonomy to just simply then be on our own. The burden then comes in physically taking over the space for the 9 days before the election. But there wasn't a significant savings for us to partner with folks after we crunched all the numbers.
So the ugly stepchild takes one again for the
Yes.
team.
Yep.
What you're saying? Yeah. Just throwing it out there.
Yep.
I'm glad you didn't say redheaded. I appreciate that.
No, I pretty much know that the Ottawa County Board is we're the ugly stepchild. Apparently that's kind of stuck with a few people. So.
Well, this kind of fits the theme that Amy was talking about earlier, somewhat of an unfunded mandate. We're seeing that more and more and more.
Yeah.
And frankly, no disrespect to our sheriff, but that'll be our next topic too. It keeps rolling down.
Yeah.
And this was a the voters voted for this.
Yes.
The voters voted for this. And so here it came, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, elections have consequences.
Kelly, we'll have this one location right here, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, which, there's a lot of pros to it. I will say, there was some concern, right, just over the general use and abuse of our facility. It will be a lot of people in here for those 9 days, and it really does hinder some of our typical township functions. There's that many people. It's that big of an event. But there are a lot of pros in the sense of we're not really having any dollar savings by not partnering with people. So then we get to be independent and autonomous in how we operate and run that election. And then for the sake of our voters as well, it's right here at their, township office. It would have been also, the line item you won't see then for some of these other folks is sending out letters and notices telling them where they need to go early vote, which might not be their local office.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Is it going to be advantageous for us to push absentee voting?
I mean, I would love to see just as many absentee voters, but yeah, of course. But, it's sort of like this gives people a lot of options, and it's so great to see people utilizing those options. Yes, outside of the cost of it. We are seeing more AV voters. I mean, this early voting option coupled with the AV, it is taking a strain off of the actual precincts on election day. I don't know that there's a way, though, to keep pushing AV over early voting, though, to that extent. I wish we could.
Can you guess how many registered voters we have here? Who's willing to take a shot? Kelly,
have that number?
No, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, anybody?
You tell us.
I'd say 17,000.
I want to say it's just shy of 43,000.
Yeah, it's
Am I
a
right?
lot.
That's a lot.
Registered voters?
Yes,
That's a lot.
Out of a 55,000 population?
closer to 60-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an incredible amount.
A lot.
Out of 55,000 residents?
Are you ready, Rob? All right, bring it on. Huh. Okay. Well, we've got a motion. It's been made and supported. Anybody, any other further comments? All right, next year's going to be a big election year, so that's when we'll really see it. We have a great team. I'm glad you said as much. We have a
You too.
great team. They're never like, oh, close enough.
No. I'm going to let them leave here at the end of the night.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, and it carries. Item 16 now, we have the pleasure of having our Sheriff, Eric DeBoer, here tonight, who's going to give us an update from the Sheriff's Office. He looks way too tan. I'm wondering where he's going.
Where he's been.
One that plays travel baseball.
Okay.
Running game changer, biking in the sun. So I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
So I spoke with Justin, and he requested I come here and just kind of give an update on where the Sheriff's Office is after my first, almost 7 months in office. When I took over, we had some decent staffing issues that were nationwide as far as law enforcement. There's a big push right now to get involved in law enforcement. So we were all kind of fighting for the same employees. But some grants that went through from the state made it easier for us to hire recruits and send them through the academy. As of this morning, let me get my stats out from this morning's newsletter. So I have an internal newsletter for my deputies. I currently have 16 open positions on my law enforcement side, but that's nearly only on paper because I have 4 in field training, 1 in the academy, 4 in background and hiring. So, and those 4 are significantly far through it, past the point where I'm worried they're going to get washed out through a background or psych. And then 7 start the academy for us in the middle of August. So that puts me at even. We actually gave another conditional today, kind of hire ahead, knowing we'll have some retirements here in the next, so anybody that's going to the academy in August gets road ready for me in May. Our intention, my undersheriff and I, to be full in May on the road side. My correction side currently has 8 openings. We have 1 in training and 4 in the background process. It's a little harder for corrections. There are so many prerequisites in the law enforcement side. A lot of them have gone to the academy. We're getting a lot of laterals, and so they've been weeded out so far. Corrections, we generally hire people that are just getting into the profession. So the backgrounds weed out a lot more than we have in the others. So, Justin, you asked that I hold this up to me. Am I getting picked up enough that it's recording?
There you go.
All right, I apologize.
Thank you.
So that is going through right now. We're feeling pretty good. We started an incentive program, just starting people out at the level that they would be paid if their experiences from other agencies were with our agency. And we've been getting a lot of out-of-state candidates or people that had been police officers in Michigan, went for family reasons to another state, and are coming back and looking for a new home. And so we just had one start that had been Grand Rapids PD, and then went to Houston, or went to Texas, and then we had one that was Grand Traverse County, and went down over to Pennsylvania and back. So we're getting a lot of lateral transfers, so good experienced officers, not the young kids that sometimes need a little bit more life experience to come out ready to hit the road. So like I said, in May, we're planning on, at this point, being full with those 7 coming out of the academy. So that's staffing. Past that, it's been a steady summer. You guys have been a pretty steady consumer of our services. I've got stats here back from 2020, and you're right around 9,000 to, you're coming up on almost 10,000 calls for service last year at 9,726. Right now, through the beginning of the year, you're at 5,400. So you're on task to be at or slightly above, slowly going up throughout time. I was looking to see what you were comparable to other townships as far as officers, calls per officer, and response times. Let me switch over. I couldn't get that on my Remarkable. I was sitting here. I apologize. But you are at about 707 calls per officer. You guys have 14 officers, or portions of officers that amount to about 14 full-time employees. So you're about 700 calls per officer. That puts you right about in the middle. Grand Haven Township's over 1,000 more than you. Spring Lake Township is at about 1,500. But there are also cities like Coopersville and Spring Lake and Hudsonville that are down in, the 300, 400 area. So pretty decent spread with what we've got, but you guys are probably right in the middle there. Your officer by population has you at about a quarter of an officer per 1,000. Puts you a little less than half. You're there's a couple of places like Coopersville and Spring Lake that have a very high officer to people ratio. Hudsonville is another one, just because they offer one full-time employee at all times, even though just because we took over that contract. When I'm looking just at the townships, you guys are probably right in line with that. And then I'm looking at your call hold times, and your call hold times are about a minute for an emergency. So that's the time that the dispatch opens up 911 till the point where the officer gets on, or I'm sorry, that's actually a dispatch stat. My apologies. But generally that is more to do with if there's a deputy available to take the call, and less about how far they are from the call when it comes up. So if you guys are from someone picks up at 911 till there's an officer ready for it to be dispatched, you're at about a minute and 10 seconds for an emergency, which is good for us. That's about as much time as it takes dispatch to type it, and then we have someone ready for you. The non-emergency times, you're a little bit higher at about 4.5 minutes, which is right around average for us. We've got quite a few in the 5-minute range. Actually kind of puts you on the low side. So you're pretty good with your non-emergency, 4-minute delay on dispatching for non-emergency. So you guys are pretty healthy there. I spoke with Justin. There's some bigger changes that are happening at the agency, but I'm not at liberty to discuss them in this forum yet, because they have to do with my approved budget at the county, which has not been formalized yet. When that happens, it's my expectation, and I told Justin this, that the township will incur a reduction in costs over the next 3 years, possibly up to around $200,000 with the same amount of service, if not better service. So when we get a little closer, when I at least get told, I'm supposed to get an email this week, if all my positions have been approved, when that goes out, I will send out a white paper that we've developed kind of explaining the whole process throughout the whole agency, and then I'll follow up with you guys on what that exactly will entail for you. But ultimately, it's a complete restructuring of our command structure to kind of put in line our span of control and our chain of command. So, and again, that'll result in a pretty significant cost savings to you. And we have some other ideas on on some other ideas going down the road, but we have to get through this first hurdle first. I can only do so many changes at once or my staff starts looking at me like I'm crazy. So yeah, that's what I have, but I understand there might be some questions. And I'm here to do that as best I can. If I can't answer them, I brought Lieutenant Rotman along, who is a longtime unit veteran for us. So,
First and foremost, we appreciate the officers that have been assigned here. Sergeant Tamiga, chief among them. It's been great to work with him, and we've got some great people that have helped us out. But anyone?
The quality we've received has been wonderful. They've been incredibly dedicated. Georgetown Township has 32 full-time people. And Dan Carlton used to say for a community this side, it should be 300, 350. But we got 32.
Mm-hmm.
Our safety people, who are awesome and do an incredible job, they're looking at this and they're saying, really, we should hire 12 full-time people to take the place. Also, we're being advised that there shouldn't be a reduction in those 14 people you have here. And they do a wonderful job, and that's something we don't want to do. But what do we say to the public that we're going to take, and more than a third of our full-time people we're going to be hiring, and this is probably the most important and the biggest decision since I've been on the board that I'm going to have to take a look at. And because you're dealing with life and death, you're dealing with the safety of the people. But when you look at what this is going to do to our budget, it's going to be substantial. Yeah. What many communities do is they'll float a millage. Yeah. And they'll have a safety millage.
Yep.
We've never done anything like that. That'd be all new area for us. I'm not even saying we should do this.
Yeah.
But this is probably life and death, the biggest thing we've had to look at, because you've had 14 officers that have taken on these responsibilities along with protecting us. We want to keep those 14, but to replace the service they provide us, we have to hire 12 full-time people, change our facilities in our departments to accommodate them that they can sleep there.
Yeah.
And this will be, staff-wise, the biggest change we've ever had in Georgetown Township once we make this move. And, and we're going to be scrutinized on this, where they're going to say, okay, these 14, and it's amazing we're able to get by with just 14. And now you want to keep those 14, but to do what they did for you, a fraction of them, a part of them, we're going to hire 12 more?
Yeah,
and we're going to have to try to explain all that.
I apologize because I know that there were some ideas that had been floated. I don't know what you guys landed on for what your choice is.
We haven't yet.
Okay.
We haven't. This is all options.
Sure.
And do we look at the private sector for taking up part of this?
Sure.
And this is going to be probably one of the hottest issues, and it hasn't hit yet, but it will.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you have to make the decision in one vote that a lot of the townships that didn't have the units for 50 years had to do incrementally, right? Because you've seen it all. I mean, Holland Park did it together, and you guys kind of did it on your own. All the other townships were dealing with medicals on their own, and as those townships continued to grow, they were able to make those incremental decisions. Makes it a lot easier when there's not so many zeros after. You kind of joked about it earlier, right? You get these $2 million, $4 million decisions. They start adding up, people start wondering, right? So I understand the position you're in. Ultimately, I mean, that's going to be up to the board to decide what priorities are which, and I don't see a lot of boards that provide the services that Georgetown Township does that don't have public safety millages. And I know as good Republicans, none of us want to tax anybody anymore, and I get that. But ultimately, you know, that's the nicest way about it is, instead of saying, hey, I want to increase your general fund tax millage, and then we'll decide what we're going to do. It's one way for you as electeds to say, it's your decision. Is it worth your money to fund this project, public safety, or the library, or water? So that's what we do at the county level. We're not discussing a public safety millage because ultimately at this point, the fund is where it's at and it's where it needs to be. But ultimately, when I asked, why is it that community mental health has a millage, and why is it that the road commission has a millage, why don't we just up that mill rate on our general taxes and do what we need to do? And the answer was, politically, it's our way of telling the voters, you decide. What is your priorities? What do you want us to hold service to? You know, this is a very, very populated area, but its reputation for being a safe place to live is second to none. And so, you know, if that's something that people want to cling to, then that's going to be the bind that you're in, and I understand that completely. I feel like I wasn't in office when the decision was made. I understand why it was made. We were far enough down the road that there's no way for me to change it, but I don't know that I would, because ultimately I can't find paramedic deputies. And I can promise you I'm going to staff my deputies with paramedic deputies and not come through, or I can just be realistic and we can be friends and I can be honest and say, just can't do it. And the ones that are there want to get out because there's no promotional process. I mean, Lieutenant Rotman had to leave the paramedic unit to make lieutenant. He had bounced around, came out, but we had people leave to go to other agencies saying, I'm being passed over for promotion because you won't let me out of the unit. And so they went to other agencies. And so there's no feasible way. Also, you know, finding the unicorns that we have that were both good paramedics and good police was really something. And we were really lucky because we got some great ones. But we've also had ones that no longer work for us that were good at one and not the other, or vice versa, because those two personality types are not so similar. You know, Treasurer DeWitt, you know, police and fire and paramedic closer, kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but calling, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
To find someone that wants to enforce laws, but also wants to, you know, everybody wants to do CPR. Everybody wants to run in and save the life quick. It's the patient care of, you know, the GI bleed that comes in the middle of the afternoon. That patience isn't there with, you know, our stock police officers. So I can't deliver on it, and I'd rather not promise and then not deliver. So, and so I apologize for the position that you're in, but ultimately I stand by the service that the officers do for the law enforcement side of the sheriff's office, in that one of the reasons this is such a beautiful place and everybody knows that you can come here and live here safely is the service that men and women that are assigned here in Georgetown Township provide. So
we're 2.25 mils.
Yeah.
Incredibly low.
Yes.
It's because the service that you provided us has allowed us to do that. Now, are we looking at this is a huge step for us.
Yeah.
It would be incredibly controversial.
Yeah, and I mean, so one of the other things that we were looking at over on the west side of the county was pooling of some other resources with more than just Park and Holland. And I went to one of the smaller townships that probably fell in more with the personality of that group, and I went to them with, like, hey, can you fund 5% of these 8-unit deputies over there? And they said, 5% of 8 deputies is more than our complete public safety budget. We would have to pass a millage. And I go, well, fair enough. You know, just to get them into this pool sharing idea that we're trying to pilot over on the west side. So I understand that we're not cheap, but ultimately we're much cheaper than trying to have your own police department, that's for sure. But again, politically, I think a millage is the easiest way to let everyone decide, is this a priority for them, and are the people there willing to spend the money. But ultimately, I didn't get elected for that part of it. You guys did. I just got elected to try and run us more efficiently. And like I said, hopefully it won't all happen in one year, but my intention is to drop you down. Right now, it would be on this year's dollar about $189,000 a year, but it's going to take me about 3 years to get there if I get my budget approved the way it is right now. And I've been notified that the administrator and the fiscal director are all on board with that plan. So, and I've been having meetings with all our county commissioners to try and get that plan passed as well. So I'm pretty confident in that. And as that goes through, like I said, I will make sure to continue those conversations with you. But Park Township had a similar problem when this was going. Holland Township was kind of positioned a little bit in a little bit better way because they already had that public safety millage. Park Township's millage was being used up with how they decided to go about this, and we went through and tried to find some partnerships with them and ended up we think we're going to save them a significant amount of money as well. So So I can continue to work with Justin. We have some things that we're doing, so.
Will we maintain the same amount of officers after we drop unit officers?
After what?
If we drop the unit officers, will we still maintain the same amount of officers?
But you drop you convert them to non-paramedic deputies is what you're saying? Because you'll get cost savings there, I guess. It's nominal.
Not having paramedics, but
Right, right now, it is our intention that the deputies that are paramedics on the day that whatever program we do goes live, and after a short time of running alongside each other to make sure there's no point in time where we have a lapse in service, right? With Holland Township, we went a couple months. I think they went live in October, and we ran with them till the end of the year, where we were all going to them together to make sure that they had everything they needed and weren't. After that's done, it'll be the same deputy, he'll just take that patch off, still go to priority 2s and priority 1s. So if, whatever staff that you have for fire, I know that was a concern in Park, that they definitely needed 2 people working at all times, because if there's some class 1, where you're doing CPR, we'll still be there for those. As much as anytime there's a class 1 or any Med 1 Echo or 1 or 2, that we send a deputy out. So we'll be there doing CPR with our AEDs, doing the stuff that we do throughout the whole rest of the
So
county.
even if we went to a private like AMR or Life or whatever, you would still do the call? Someone come on the call?
So I guess that would be interesting to see how that worked, because it would be more on dispatch. Because if it goes through 911, 911 would then call over to Life. I think you're Life here, right? Life or AMR, Life. They would call over to Life, but then they would also dispatch that if it's a priority 2, then we would still continue to go to those as well, yes.
Okay. Right now, what is your commitment to the township for sheriffs or deputies, whatever we
14 full-time.
14 full-time?
Yeah. So the only change that I would see in this proposed would be a reduction in 1 that you would have to pay for. He would still be in this area, and then a lieutenant that we pay for would be in your township office as well.
That 14, does that include the ones at the school?
Yes, it's everyone you're paying for. So you pay for a third of the one at this school and a third of the one for that. All of those added up is 14. So it's not 14 people. It might be 16, but you only have a position. So these are 14 FTEs is the easiest way for me to run stats on it.
Okay.
How much of that unit officer, those 7 though, is actually doing policing work?
So it's funny, because when
outside of their
started, we were, because I was stopping at DeWitt's Auto and having coffee with Mr. Vanderplug, who's now retired, who's my field training officer. They were only allowed to respond to traffic incidents and medicals. Now they're doing every call there is. So they're normal police cars, and so they will have more than enough work to do, to the point where you guys had an officer involved shooting. It was a paramedic deputy that was involved in that shooting. I mean, it used to be that I don't know what they would do with themselves probably 20 years ago. That's not the case any longer. They're out there doing just as much police work.
As much as we're paying them to do our unit costs, we're also paying them to do half the time as a policing.
You were probably paying like 75. I hate just off the cuff anecdotal, but you were probably doing 75-25 that they're doing police work anyway. And so now they can do proactive police work too. So there's another stat that we go by when we look at if it's time to add more deputies. And I found it buried in a staffing study that we had done back when I was still, I think I was still a detective. But after a saturation point of 60% of an officer's shift being taken up with dispatch generated calls, the mindset of the officer switches and they stop making proactive anything because they're fearful that they're going to miss the next call for service. So they try and keep, when we look at it as a time to add more people, we look at is 911 generated calls taking up more than 60% of an officer's shift, because if that's the case, they're not going to be stopping at, this garage sale and saying hi, or buying lemonade from this kid, or able to go to the bike rodeo and set up this event, or going out and making traffic stops. Because I had a lieutenant who liked to keep himself busy when I was the night sergeant, and he would constantly pull someone over, and he had the most unbelievable nose for trouble. And without a doubt, whenever I needed my lieutenant, he was pulled over on the side of the road with some guy that had just found, or had just done a bunch of retail frauds, shoplifting, and had a carload of stuff. And so he would constantly be, doing stuff like that, but then he would miss out on the help I needed. So we like to keep about 60-40, so that the officers are out making traffic stops, finding their own things, doing that proactive stuff that may deter crime not just respond to it. We don't ever want to be a position that we're just responding to 911 calls, because then it's getting too bad. We're not on top of it. So,
Anyone else?
well, so which?
Of the E unit?
So that, a lot of that's dependent on whatever plan you guys go with. Whenever that can get rolled in, we just renewed the medical license. So we're getting out of the medical business everywhere. Obviously, Park Holland, you guys know about, we had an EMT basic car out in Allendale that we got rid of, and Spring Lake, Ferrysburg also had an EMT basic. They are getting out of that business as well. So we just renewed our license, so we would like a drop dead date of, is it September of next? September of next, so that we don't have to go through all the licensing processes again. But ultimately, depending on when whatever program you have can be running, if you're going to go with fire and you already have the personnel in place and it's just buying some equipment, whatever time that you guys think, hey, we can probably go live, like I said, we'll go live next to you, let you guys be your training wheels just to make sure we don't miss anything, because I would rather 15 of us show up to a medical that we don't need to go to than somebody miss something. And then if you know, whatever that looks like, we'll go alongside you, and then as soon as you guys say we're good, then we'll convert to the normal deputies, and we'll just go to 2s and 1s.
How do we work out the whole contract with that thing? If we manage to go there 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, who's going to be in charge of that prorating?
So what'll happen, yeah, it'll actually be that part will be pretty simple. As soon as you tell us we're done, we'll send you a new exhibit. So what you have is we have that contract that says we're going to provide the following service, and then the backside is the exhibit of what the services provide. The reason we did it that way is we can change that exhibit without having to get every contract passed in front of our commission and a board if we need to. So ultimately what we'll do is as soon as that month comes, we'll send out the new pricing because paramedic deputy is one charge, and you already have that one, but you also have the same charge for normal deputies. That's I don't even remember what the paramedic charge is. I know the deputies are about I want to say 158, but we'll just drop them down from 7 units and 4 deputies to 11 deputies. And that'll happen that month.
Now, that is what you're suggesting, 14 or whatever, or is that?
I'm suggesting you stay status quo with the amount of police resources you have now.
Okay,
yes.
no.
I mean,
even though the 7 are actually supposed to be our unit officers that are doing the tremendous stuff of medicals and stuff that we have.
Yeah.
We're not getting a full service out of those.
Right, so there's a price drop there.
I'm just wondering, it's like, can we do 10? Can we do 12? Because
well, ultimately, I mean,
we're only doing half the time anyway.
Yeah.
Plain devils, I guess.
What our service level is going to be up to you. All right, we have.
I mean, you suggest that, but can we come back to you and say, you know what, I think we can do 12?
Yeah, if you think that you can do 12, then that's something that we can adjust as needed without having to sign a new.
I'm not saying that. I'm just.
You're just hypothetically, and that's
yeah,
fine.
Exactly.
You have to understand the process.
We're trying to throw it all out there.
Yep. No, so ultimately, I'd be hard pressed trying to tell a township with the size that you are, with the growth that you are, you haven't put on a new car, fully a new car in 16 years since 2009 when the 4.6 car came on. You've put on 1/3 of SRO, school resource officers, in that time. You guys haven't added road patrol deputies in 16 years, and think about the growth that's happened in that time. And I think that's probably where the units just took medicals has kind of evolved into those units are staying significantly busy.
If we do 14, can we get another traffic car out of that business? Because we don't.
Well, so, I mean.
Does that one move around the county too much anyway?
No, so you currently have, one of yours is, you also have a traffic card, you have TS5 that works out here.
Can we get another one of those out of the 14?
And we can work out whatever that looks like. That's not a problem for us. But ultimately, the deputies that are out here are running traffic when they're not assigned to a call. And so you're getting that right now. So if you took one of those and converted it to a traffic car, all you're saying is, I would rather they not take calls for service.
Okay.
And so while I don't mind, I mean, listen, we can put as many black cars out here as you want with slick tops. I think they look great. And I know the guys like not having to take all the nuisance calls. But honestly, in a in a community as safe and secure as yours, those are the majority of the calls, the neighborhood disputes, my car got broken into overnight. That's the stuff that doesn't go to the traffic car. So I'll have deputies fighting for the car if they don't have to take those.
Yeah.
But honestly, your calls for service are what's driving your need. And in the meantime, those deps, when they're not taking those calls, will be out writing tickets. One of the things that we expect with this change that we're doing is that there will always be a sergeant within this district, which will probably include about 4 townships, that isn't in the office, that is out supervising and taking calls and doing that sort of thing. And then your go-to will be a lieutenant who has a better connection to what we have going on, and you have a better connection to me that way. So you'll actually have some more, hey, stop sitting around, let's go out there and get it. So I expect to see an uptick in traffic contacts and just general, I wouldn't say aggressive culture, but the culture of we're out here to make contact, we're out here to see people, we're out here to talk to people, we're out stopping cars for violations, but also stopping into, the auto shop to have coffee so that we know who all these people are, because they're the ones that give us the information when we're looking to solve the crime. So I expect that to be kind of an increased cause or outcome of this reorganization. So
at the beginning of your presentation, you had a lot of statistics,
Yeah.
right? Time to dispatch an officer, number of calls, essentially, per officer over a course of a calendar year. Along Jean's line of thinking, how quickly or how often can we change potentially our contract with you? If we were willing to say, technically, that even if it wasn't 50-50, maybe it was 80-20, but if we kind of totaled up the 20% of each of the E-unit officers and kind of said, we might be able to get away with 1 or 2 less, right? So let we try 10 or we try 12 instead of keeping it at the 14. How often do we get those stats from you? I'm just sort of wondering your role as a consultant for our decision-making process. So can we check back in at 3 months or 6 months and say, can we compare then those statistics and kind of figure out, did our service levels change?
Yeah.
And can we sort of then continue to keep an eye on that? And if we said, whoa, they're horrible, quick, we want 2 more officers, how quickly can we make those type of changes?
So it's funny. If there's, how do I say this? If ever there was a time to make a reduction, right now wouldn't cause me to send someone home and tell them, I don't have a job for you. It might get a little tense in a couple months when I start getting full through if I don't have the people leaving that I expect. But if you were to say that once I'm full, I'd say, oh, you can do that, but obviously as I have a responsibility to you, but I have a responsibility to my men and women to say, I'd just as soon not send someone home and tell them, sorry, I know you do a great job for us, but we're going to lay you off. I only have so many positions available. I have so many float cars. I have a little bit of wiggle room in our general fund that we can put a couple cars in the short term. But that's not a long-term thing. So ultimately, there are times where it will be more advantageous if you're going to make reductions. How fast we can spin one up, it all depends. Right now, we went from, hey, we just can't get people to apply to, okay, we got people applying to, hey, word's getting out, something's happening here. I mean, we got some other significant changes that probably aren't for public consumption yet, but the deputies are starting to talk to all their friends, and we're starting to get some laterals. And so it might be the fact that I can catch a lateral pretty quick and I can get one up through the FTO process in 3 months. But if not, and I have to go through the academy, I was hiring these recruits that I said leave in August. I hired them in March to be ready the next May. So it takes a while for me to hire them, background them, send them through academy, send them through field training, and then have them be ready for solo patrol. So I can't give you a good answer. Somewhere between 3 months and a year.
This might be a very naive follow-up question, but I guess sort of there isn't some value to the county to say, I mean, you are reliant upon the municipality paying for those deputies. It's not like if we say we want 2 less, the county doesn't say, well, we still think there's value in keeping them generally within our county limits patrolling.
Yeah, so it's part of the white paper I'll send out, but back in the 80s, there was a big get-together with all the townships and the cities and villages in the county. And what it came to be is whose responsibility is it to pay for police services. Should a resident of Holland City pay their city tax and their county tax, pay their city tax to pay for the city police, and pay their county tax for the sheriff's office that they don't use? And so this big argument ensued, and what it came down to, and one of the justifications for my reorganization is, it became at that point, and rolling forward through Sheriff Rosema and then Sheriff Kempker and now myself, was it's the township that's growing's responsibility to finance and fund law enforcement operations at the deputy level. It's then the county's responsibility for the infrastructure, for the supervision, for the detectives, for records, for my position, for the lieutenant's position. And so that's how we've kind of built the sheriff's department out since then, is as each township, city, or village grows, they decide their needs based on those of you that are in the know and say, hey, we need more, or, you know, it's time for us to hold for a little while, or even reduce some costs because, hey, it's an economic downturn, whatever that looks like. As there's an old formula that we're also relying on that says if the township fund adds 5 deputies, it's actually 5.6 deputies, then the sheriff's office will then add a sergeant. If they add 6.2, we'll add a detective. If they add 7, we add a records person, so that we are able to continue to support each township as they grow and decide to grow each section. So yes, I have, you know, I got elected. I thought, hey, I'm my own boss. I've got 17 townships. I think, was it 14, 12? 12 of them have contracts with us. A couple, or it might even be 15, have contracts with us. I'd have to look. And all the cities and villages that we run, I actually have to be the chief of police for all of those to make sure that they have the services they need. And we then, when you guys get cost savings instead of having your own police department, is you don't have to worry about hiring detectives, training detectives, hiring sergeants. Now you pay for a sergeant, that's where your cost savings is going to come from when we implement our plan. But that shouldn't be your responsibility. That's my responsibility to provide through the county. So that's kind of how that goes. So it's not a naive question, because I asked it countless times when I was a deputy, and it wasn't until I finally got to read some of these papers that were in the admin folder when I got elected to start understanding that historical context. So
You were part of the whole, before you became sheriff, working on the Holland Township, Park Township unit program, kind of getting that. In your feelings, how did that whole situation go? I mean, was it compared to what you're looking at us right now as a?
So I think I had one township with a foot on each side of you. Holland Township has a millage. They had been kind of on top of this. I think they were poised to probably make the move regardless, and this was just the jumping off point. And so my work with Holland Township went very smoothly. I know they're looking to add some more. I know it wasn't cheap, but they've always been very responsive to, like, hey, we're putting up 2 new apartment complexes. It's time for us to talk. We know that that's going to drive call volume. And so they've always been proactive. I think Park Township wasn't as prepared and maybe wasn't as quick to accept the realities and went through. And so they had some struggles. I think the lieutenant could speak to it probably more in private, that didn't accept as much guidance, didn't quite know what was coming, and then ended up making some decisions that put them financially in a little bit of a squeeze. Not a bad one, but ultimately we worked through it, myself in Holland Township, as a partner, to make that look good. And honestly, we can, I mean, like I said, I've got a pilot program going out in Park Holland. Once the districts are solidified, my intention on checking with the other townships in that district to see if they want to pool resources more. And so that's something that we can discuss here. If you want to look at pooling some of those resources with other townships. I know Blendon's always wanted more coverage but can't afford a whole deputy. So splitting costs might be a cost savings with them. But ultimately, that's not something I've got going right now in this area, because I've just got so many projects going, and I want to get the districts to a place where I can say, hey, I'm doing it, it's working well, and here's another program that we have some data on. So, but ultimately, it's one way to split more costs. If you wanted to trying to explain to people not in police operations but fire operations, you might be a little bit better suited to get the first shot of. Sometimes 4 quarters is more than a whole. If you pay for a quarter of 4 cars 4 cars can work 24/7 on 12-hour shifts. You pay the same amount of money, but now you have access to 4 cars, one of which can always come to you. You have your own dep. He's there for 40 hours, actually 42 hours a week. And when he's gone, there's nobody there. And so that's what we're trying to kind of more facilitate, to say, hey, Park Holland, you've got it great. Each one has their own deputies to assign just to them. Park Township has a deputy that's the face of our agency, goes to cops and cones, goes to the bike rodeos. Everybody knows Jonesy. He's the greatest. And then I got 8 other people that at any point in time can run and take their calls for service so we don't lose response time. So ultimately, you've got a group of 7. We can look at, other townships or other cities or villages or whatever in the district that are contiguous to see if that's a way to save some costs too and not lose that much of service. But that's something I'm willing to entertain, and I can do the political legwork to try and get whatever partnering governments that you want to talk with. Jamestown's rife for growth. They've got 2 community policing officers, one just retired, and so we have to fill it soon. So they need more deputies down there with the growth they got going on down there, and jumping into a pool would be an easy way for them to check off that box. So,
Eric, just real quick.
Yeah.
2 years ago, we had 3 cameras installed in the township to read license plates.
Yeah, flock cameras. Those things are great.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I wonder if that program's been successful. Should we look at possibly buying a couple more?
Yeah, I mean, it's
How helpful
wildly
are
successful. I didn't come with I've got a folder of success stories, but our analysts come through and give us a kind of a running total of, hey, we've already recovered in the last 4 months, $200,000 worth of stolen equipment and have this many charges. I'm sorry, I didn't prepare that for you today. I can send some to Justin for him to send out to you. The amount of investigative resources that gives us for the dollar is amazing. I was driving home. What were we doing? My whole family was out this way. I can't remember what we were doing in Georgetown. I think we might have been at the baseball diamond. We were driving home down Fillmore, and of course, there's a car on the side of the road. 2 cars of ours on the side of the road with a guy in handcuffs sitting on the side of the road. And of course, my kids want to know what happened because they think it's the greatest that their dad should know all this stuff. When I looked into it, it was a domestic that happened in Georgetown Township. The man committed the domestic, took off. They put the plate into it, found that it was headed down Fillmore Street because of a camera that was somewhere between there and here. And the deputies from a different district that had no idea what was going on were able to find him, pull him over to the side of the road and lock him up. That's just domestics. So many missing people. I haven't seen Grandpa. He was supposed to be over here. He left 3 hours ago. We found 1 endangered missing down in, was it Tennessee, St. Louis, somewhere down south. I can't remember where. I apologize.
Should we consider 1 or 2 more? And would it be helpful?
I would have to check with the captain, but I'm pretty sure he has locations in the township that he would like if you ever decide to go with more. So
I think they're about 5,000.
3,000 a year, but the first year is closer to 5 because that first year you have permitting prices.
Okay.
It takes, because they do all the permitting and installation. We actually don't buy the equipment. It's Flock's equipment. So ultimately, if we ever want to say we're done with it, I don't have a closet full of old cameras.
I think you gave us those 3 free. So we would have.
Yeah, we have, oh, that's a good question. So we have, the county pays for 10 right now. Nope, that's not right. The county pays for 12 right now. Holland Township put on an additional 10, Park Township an additional 2, Talmadge Township is putting on an additional 2. And so if you guys are willing, we would just add it as a line item on your exhibit of however many cameras times, I think it's $4,700 divided by 12, and you'll get that as part of your monthly bill from us.
Yeah.
And we act as the pass-through, so we'll sign the contract with them so that you guys are kind of indemnified from that kind of mess. So we can use you as a pass-through if that's something you're interested in. So as we try and, I know you guys are looking at cost savings because of the fire split, but as we start giving you some savings with hopefully the redistricting plan, I would have no problems adding a couple cameras in the township with as many choke points and really busy roads as we have here. You'd get a lot of.
A couple major roads were not covered.
Yeah. Well, we were trying to make sure that with the 12 that were funded by the county, that everyone was given some benefit, either in their township or in a road that passes through their township close by, with the hope that our bigger consumers understood that that they can get a little bit more bang for the buck. So I know Allendale was in conversations with us. I know Grand Valley paid for a couple to put right on in Allendale for Allendale. So we have a couple there, but yeah, I would gladly engage with Justin if that's the intention of the board to get some cameras. We don't make it's public information, but we try not to say exactly where they are because we've had 2 of them taken out already, but we don't know that they were done on purpose, so.
Thank you for that.
All right, anyone else?
Thanks for coming, Eric.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. I appreciate the chance to engage. I plan on doing it when it's not just for the program changes as it is, but obviously we have a good relationship with Justin, and even if whenever this redistrict happens, the lieutenant we put down here, his job will be solely to liaise with all the townships in the district. So you will have someone here that continues that relationship, and anytime you want to have a meeting with me, I hope I was pretty easy to get a hold of. I think we've had a couple meetings since Justin was either interim or in place. So I'm happy to do it. I love talking about my agency. I can do it all day. So
Was that last part a way of saying that we're going to lose Sergeant Tamiga? Is that what I just heard?
oh, he'll probably be one of your district sergeants still.
Okay.
But the person that Justin will contact. So one of the hiccups we have is my sergeants come up and talk to me once a quarter because I have 22 of them and I can't pull them all off the road on the same time as often as we'd want. My lieutenants I meet with every week, and they know exactly where things are going. And so if there's an actual issue, we got to hope that someone's communicating through emails and not just this constant communication. So what I think will happen is the same office will be occupied by someone that you don't have to pay for that has greater access to me, and you have better access to what we're thinking. So there won't be a lot of, hey, what's going on? And it's going to be, I think, very advantageous, especially to the townships that that will be the district headquarters, which Georgetown Township would be, Holland Township, and then we're thinking probably Spring Lake Township. But yeah, I think you'll benefit more than you'll hurt, and you'll still see Michael's face around.
Good.
As long as he bids to work this area.
Well, you are a wealth of information. Thank you.
Yeah. It's always good to see people from the west side of the county to come to the east side. We don't see a lot of it over here.
Crazy.
We're the ugly stepchild. I told John Teeples that too. I was like, hey, we're happy to have you guys come visit us once in a while.
That's funny. We were laughing about it the other day because we talk about how cops don't like 2 things. They don't like the way things are, and they don't like change. And so every once in a while, especially the old undersheriff, Undersheriff Weiss, used to move people just because when they didn't realize they needed to be moved, she would move them. And there was a deputy that was assigned out in Holland with me when we were deputies. And there was a deputy that had been disciplined on this side of the county, and they had to fill his car for the length of his time off. And so this deputy was brought over here to fill a car, and he came to my house, and he was so angry that he was getting moved, and why should he be punished? He didn't do anything wrong. And then 2 weeks later, when he came back to the west side, he was like, "Man, I'm bidding over there. It's crazy. They're great. Everybody waves with all the fingers, and it's so it is funny. We'll have some movement around and allow us to kind of coach up.
Yeah, I never heard that phrase.
So.
That's good.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Thank you.
Sure. Great. Now we'll go to our second public comment period. Some of you have been quite patient here and waiting for that. Does anyone wish to address the board at this time on any topic that's on your mind, whether you heard it tonight or whether you came thinking about something entirely different? This is your opportunity. You could just identify your name and your address. Thank you.
Snyder in Hudsonville.
I'm sorry, I missed the name.
Hudsonville.
No, the name.
Your name.
Snyder.
First name?
Your address, please?
I'm going to talk about the bill, and I'm kind of scared about certain people have certain feelings about things, so I'd rather just say that. So I'm coming here about a couple different things. One, so specifically the time-sensitive issue is the heating. Okay, so
the what?
Heating costs. So
Get in the mic, please.
I'm sorry. And he's very tall.
You can just, yeah, there you go. Heating costs, did I hear?
So yes, heating costs.
Okay,
So
right.
in the Big Beautiful Bill, it's called HR1, so you can look this up if you'd like to. One of those things in there was LHEAP, to help people offset their heating costs, that kind of thing. We also have 2.7% inflation right now, which is going up. And starting in August, there's a 35% increase in our tariff to Canada for no reason. This will at least increase costs for some people who are getting their fuel from Canada, about 40%. And now Trump has also said that they want to sell all this fuel to the EU, which that increases, it's called LNG exports, which when basically, because we're selling a lot of it, what we are spending, it's going to go up. The prices are going to go up for that reason as well, okay? So I have these other issues, but if I have an issue, I try to bring a solution, okay? If we were to right now, because the tariffs would start in August, if the county, if the state has any extra money right now, we could buy in bulk now at this price and then give it back to people, and they would pay it back, and by spring, we'd have that money back. So it's not even like it would really cost us anything in the year perspective, okay? But it could save people from freezing to death this winter. So that's problem one. There's a possible solution if you can do that. That's why I talked to the lady who is the treasurer. The second thing would be through the big beautiful bill, HR 1, if you want to look at, there was an Axiom piece that was put out that it will actually reduce your Social Security by 24% within about 7 years. Now, in the last week here, they have HR 1319 revisions. So it's been something that's been out there, but the Republicans put revisions on there that are really bad for the 99%. So what they're saying is that if your employer is not giving you line item by line item of what you're doing every day, then you can be considered a contractor and not an employee. That means you have to pay for your own insurance, you get no benefits, you cannot unionize, and it also reduces the funds to Social Security. So while this BBB, with the Big Beautiful Bill for billionaires, it's called HR 1, will reduce Social Security by 24% within 7 years, this will defund it even quicker when you add it together. And this is all so billionaires make more money, okay? This is not helping us. But what are we going to do with Social Security being defunded like that? In addition to that, the HR 1 has many other issues. One, because we are giving all our money, food stamps, Medicaid, all this stuff, to the billionaires, that's not enough money for them, so they're taking more money from us. And that deficit of about $4 to $5 trillion in the next 4 or 5 years, and it's permanent now that we're giving rebates to the rich people, taking our money and giving it to them, the sponges that they are, that deficit will only get higher. Because of that deficit, a pay-as-you-go is being hit, okay? Which means after midterms, because they made that strategic.
Could you bring it to a thesis, just because we have a 3-minute time limit? But go ahead.
So $500 billion will be cut. And that will also, and that's after midterms, and that 1 in 4 nursing homes will go down. So what can we do about that? The Medicaid will be cut about $1 trillion. That's at the end of 2028, 2029. So that will increase all of our health care. Why? Because when people don't have health care, they go to the ERs. We could do things like at the state level, say, we could have like triage centers to reduce that.
Thank you. I really have to be respectful. Yep. But no, listen, I don't want you to feel cut off in any way that anyone else would be.
Yep.
We try to maintain that decorum. But I'll just say that you're bringing up federal issues.
But it's going to impact us at the state level, and so we could do things like...
And you're bringing up state issues that, again, at a township level. But I don't, this isn't a time for debate. I'm hearing you and thinking, I'm not sure what we can do about any one of those items as a board of a township, but...
Environmental stuff too, which I already brought up and I won't say again, but last time I think you guys heard me where you take a T, go to the industrial area, put a coil around it, take off the heat capacity, superheat our water to reduce the environmental factors would be really good, because the Big Beautiful Bill also, they get slapped on their hands, so they can basically pollute all they want. If we get sick, we can't sue them for our health care. So if we want to reduce that, we could also do that.
Okay. All right, thank you. You got a lot in 3 minutes there. Yes, you wish to go next? All right. Welcome back.
Rewind here a second. Anyway, we're GAC.
Yes, Mr. Scripsma and
Nancy Packer.
Okay. All right.
We are some of the founding members of GAC, Georgetown area.
And you identified your addresses earlier, both Georgetown residents.
And Miss Amber.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think some of you people we have worked with, because you put a voting guide together, which was very successful. We had a tremendous reaction to that. And so we're going to continue with that, but I think we got to wait a little bit before we can turn our views to political items. So we decided we're going to turn our attention to Georgetown Township. And we have decided to see what we can do to help government, help schools, help other organizations to make Georgetown Township a better place to live and work. So just to give you kind of a couple of things we got in our pockets, we are going to go work with Hand to Hand, contribute to them, and like I said, we had some 600 people that are willing to help us out in District 6 and District 7, And so we're going to go see if we can flood hand to hand with some help. There's some other areas in the community that we're going to go help. Just kind of reach out to them. Now, one of the things we're going to do with that is we are going to set up a meeting with our members and say, hey, you know, come to this restaurant, come to this bar, grill, and bring your ideas. What can we do as a group to make Georgetown a better place? So that's kind of what we're going to start to do. And I just want to, you know, let you guys that you may not see or hear us, but we're really working in the background to see if we can make this a better community. Some other things we're working on is we want to promote civility. We want to see if we can develop a plan where when you have conversations, they're open hands, not fists. And I think you guys all know the political climate that we're going through right now. We want to see if we can change that just a little bit. And we'll see how successful we are with that. But, you know, you got to try. So we're going to try. And we think it's important to have, you know, these conversations with people, you know, if it's over a cup of coffee or over a beer, just to say, hey, you may be different from me, but what do we have together that we can make this a stronger community? And that's going to be what we're going to try and do. And it's kind of like this one person said, love your neighbor. And that's kind of what we believe in. We love our neighbor, want to make this a better place, and we are helping all kinds of people to try and do that. Another example is, I don't know if you're familiar with the Hager Park map over there. There's an Eagle Scout who has decided to renovate that. GAC is going to help them with that. You know, so we're doing stuff like that as well. So we just wanted to come and say, hi, how are you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim, you have my number, so if you need us, give us a call.
I do. It's been like a year and a half.
I know.
I think I'm that organized. Okay.
I know. Well,
All right.
sometimes things move slow.
Nice to give back to the
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Unless
Appreciate
retired people have a lot of time.
I mean,
Appreciate it. All right, anyone else? All right, going once, going twice. Closed. All right, our second public comment period is closed. Item 18, discussion and general information among the board. I'll start with my right.
I liked Eric's comment that in our township, they wave with all their fingers. He did a great job.
That's funny.
This is probably the biggest decision we're going to be making. But good job.
You don't have to say anything, but you're welcome to as we move this direction.
I did attend a couple of historical society meetings the last 2 months, and they are actually moving forward with the 250th, trying to come up with something that they can write the grant for coming this fall into next year, come up with ideas and whatever. So
and the painting is still going on at the house.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, painting's still going on. So, yeah, very interesting meetings. They always need more people, and they're actually looking for younger people. Everybody's in there is because they're getting into not only the late 1800s, 19s, but now you start thinking about the 30s, 40s, and 50s, which we are part of. So, and how to do that and store things and whatever else. So they got a lot going on, but they're doing a good job.
Thanks for attending. Yeah. Okay.
Can I throw something there? Who is it that runs those lessons of Genesis that has all the old films?
Yeah, there's two guys that run. There's a Gene, somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. Good job.
The train that ran out to,
Yeah. The interurban. Yep, the interurban. I was going to say, we lost Joel. I don't blame him, but he was here for what he needed to be. He gave me a personal tour. You guys probably were around in June when they did the new dedication of the new DPW building. I wasn't here, but I made a point of going out there a week or two ago. He and Michael gave me a tour. What a great place.
Oh.
What a great place. And I'm so happy for them. It was overdue, but I'm really, really happy for them. What a great place. I'm happy that we did that, you know?
Good.
It is good. So.
And you know what other great place we have in Georgetown Township is our senior center. ET Connections. And I know you'll find this hard to believe, but I am teaching a class there tomorrow. 10 a.m., so.
I believe it. You give a lot of your time there. We appreciate that.
yes.
They love that. They love it.
That's all I got.
Creative. Yep. All right.
I'm good.
All right.
I did notice that they are starting resurfacing on Jackson, and I'm hoping that they get to 12th Avenue. I'm just wondering if that's tied in. Not yet. Why?
They found a gas line at the corner of 12th Ave and Jackson, and the 31st of July, the gas company will be out there to evaluate if it's deep enough for them to pave it. If it's not, they'll have to move it around. We're tentatively looking at 2026.
Wow, so we keep kicking that can down
Yes.
the road, huh?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
And yesterday, and it's a dirt road.
Yeah.
I was blown away of how much reconstruction they're doing on the road.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and we're closed. Meeting.